Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you've got some people coming back by now. There's some more MLR content. We're going to be reviewing round 3 today, and mate, we fought a fantastic round of MLR rugby. Another great round, I would say. And yeah, I'm really getting into watching the MLR. I'm sort of like learning all the teams, and they're releasing longer highlights on YouTube, which is fantastic. You know, getting more detailed plays to look at, learn more of the players. So well done to the MLR for that, but also just the on-field product is actually very good, and I'm enjoying it. So let's get into round 3. And as you can see, we have the results here on my left, right, left if you're looking at this video. Yeah, we start off an absolute banger. Charlotte Rugby Anthem in Charlotte playing the Miami Sharks. What a brilliant game. And first thing I want to say is they played in a different stadium this time in Charlotte, and it seemed to make a world of difference. The crowd, I don't know if it was bigger or smaller, but it definitely felt more energetic. It looked like a good crowd in Charlotte, so that's a fantastic thing for that club. But yeah, one bad thing though, going straight from a positive to a negative. What the hell were the MLR organisers, whoever oversees this, thinking about that kit clash? That was absolutely dreadful, because Anthem were playing in their normal blue kit, and then Miami were playing in their normal home kit, which is a pink but blue merge. And it's not like it's just sort of pink at the top, blue at the bottom or anything. Like, it's literally pink down this side and then blue down that side. So if you're on the right side of the camera, it's okay. But when players are like turning round, or you know, going one half, it's blue on blue from the side of the camera. It's terrible. So I don't know who allowed Miami to play in their home kit, but it doesn't matter. Miami just love playing in their home kit, clearly. But yeah, a fantastic game this one was. I mean, it was so fantastic. We had about, I don't know, 10 tit for tat sort of scores. I think Miami got the first thing, it was a penalty, and then Anthem scored a maul try, and then I'm just going to read it. I had to list it out here because there's so many things happened. Miami hits back with a try from the fullback, then Anthem's fullback gets a try, and then Miami gets something else. I don't know if it's a try or a penalty. I think it was a penalty, and then Anthem get a try, and absolutely crazy stuff. And this keeps going throughout the match. It was really, really exciting one to watch. And I'm sure those fans, as I said, the great crowd in Charlotte, really enjoyed that game. But yeah, there's a yellow card for Anthem, and so they lose 10 people, but they managed to hold it as a 19-15 win at half-time. Lead. So yeah, at half-time, Anthem are winning. And then Ardell, fantastic. So I could try for Miami, mostly from Ardell, making a little break and gets the offload away to another Miami player. I didn't see who it was, and then he gets it to Bonassa, who scored his second try in 2 weeks, and he goes over for the try, and Miami take the lead during that yellow card period in the first 10 minutes of the second half. So yeah, that they already that yellow card cost Anthem there. And then there's a yellow card for Miami because they collapsed a maul for Anthem. And then eventually Lockie Vuli scores a try, making it 31-25, and it's 8 minutes left. This is like, for a good 10-15 minutes, it stays 31-25. Anthem are going to win their first game, but they can't do it. There's a maul try from Miami, and it's like quite far out. And still, Santiago Videla nails the conversion to make it 32-25. And, you know, they have 8 minutes left, Anthem, to try and win the game. They're attacking as the clock goes red, and they eventually lose the ball. But, however, it's controversial because I would say the Miami player rolling out the ruck disrupts the ball. So that's already kind of an offence in itself. You're affecting the ball presentation. Second of all, a Miami player dives on the ball to, you know, get the ball for it's just spilled out the ruck, but you can't dive on a ball within, is it a metre or 3 metres outside the side of the ruck? Either way, it's definitely within 1 metre, and that try, I think, it ends the game because it's just said, oh, Miami got it back, it's a knock-on, or I don't know. But I think that should have been a penalty to Anthem. So Anthem could feel a little bit hard done by there. But yeah, ultimately, I think it's 32-31 to Miami. Fantastic win for them, and are now 2 from 3. They should be 3 from 3. I know I just said they shouldn't have won that one, but they also lost the first one against DC in round 1, and you know they should just kick the ball out. They could have won that, so they could have been 3 from 3, Miami. And you know, it's key players like Manuel Ardell and Benjamin Bonassa, who I think are really making a difference for Miami. Just everywhere in the park, they seem to always be involved, making a difference. So yeah, fantastic win for Miami. A real shame for Charlotte not to get that win. But it'll come. Their first MLR win is going to come this season. You can see it. You can see them building, they're improving, and they've got some quality in that squad, 100%. Next game up, Old Glory in DC, their first home game this season. Obviously, the away win over Miami in round 1, then a bye week. So it's their first home game this season, the second game overall. Taking on San Diego Legion, unbeaten in the first 2 games. And San Diego make it a third unbeaten game. Another good game here. I've got to read that through. That's what happens again. But yeah, Vaifale, oh God, I might have butchered that. Scores in the corner. That's 5-0 to San Diego. And a tackle off the ball gives DC a penalty, so they make it 5-3. It's quite a low scoring game, this one. Captain Wilkin goes over for San Diego after about half an hour, and the score says 12-3 until half time. And then after in the second half, the first thing I want to talk about this round, a first scrum incident. Score from a move of the scrum soon in the second half from San Diego to go 19-3 up. And that's the thing. One of the things about this round, we've seen a few tries from scrums, and obviously that is the big controversy about Major League Rugby this season. They've been trying to lower the number of scrums in games. So for example, a maul collapse is now just a free kick, not a scrum. Knocking the ball into the in-goal area and it be a touchdown is now going to be a goal line dropout, not a scrum. Knocking the ball into touch is going to be a line out, not a scrum. So they're trying to remove the number of scrums, and yet we've seen a number of tries from scrums in this round of MLR, and I'll get through the rest of them soon, but that's the first one in the San Diego Old Glory game. I think it's just an interesting point. I would not say it's a wise move to remove scrums as an American league. I would let the top leagues fiddle around with that, and MLR is trying to produce players for the USA team who are best equipped to play international rugby. So therefore, if the others aren't getting rid of scrums, maybe MLR should be getting rid of scrums. But that's just my opinion. Let Super Rugby or Top 14 or Premiership, whoever, deal with that sort of law trial. Anyway, we're going into, so it's 19-3 to San Diego. About 10 minutes later, after this scrum thing, I was going to say, another score off the back of the scrum, this time from DC. So that makes it 19-10. And then a pick and go try for San Diego with 5 minutes to go finishes off the game. DC have no hope after that, and it finishes 26-10 to San Diego Legion. So yeah, a great win for San Diego. As I said, 3 in a row, unbeaten. Yeah, they're flying. They're looking great in the MLR. Obviously, disappointing end to last year's season. They'll be hoping to be contesting to win the whole league overall this year, and they definitely look on form. Likely to get to a final and potentially win it. So yeah, really good for San Diego, and yeah, that was dreadful. And next up, another great game. Utah Warriors took on New Orleans, or NOLA Gold, and it was Utah Warriors' first home game of the season up in Salt Lake City. And what a fantastic atmosphere. I mean, the crowd wasn't anything overly massive. It was a good crowd. It was a good crowd. But, it's not like San Diego can sometimes pull in. But, the stadium announcer really seemed to be getting them up onto their feet and chanting. So, yeah, it looked like a great atmosphere out in Utah. Talk about the game itself. As this is a game, scrum penalty try for Utah to make it 7-3 after an earlier penalty from NOLA Gold. So that's early on, already a scrum penalty try. And so, obviously... NOLA Gold lose a player there as well, but it's just, again, the scrum has having an impact, and are scrums getting weaker? Maybe the scrums 3 rounds in are getting weaker because they're not training so much, because they're not going to be using it so much. That's just a theory. I don't think that would be the case. I don't think you lose the ability to scrum within a month, but it's just something to reconsider, isn't it? Because why? We see how much scrums can have effects on the game. Don't just remove them. Next up, we got Utah scoring another try. It was a nice try from winger Joey Mano, who had a busy game, shall we say. But after Mano's first try, a quick retaliation from New Orleans, who get a try themselves. But then there's a maul try for Utah, and then a yellow card from a high tackle from the winger Joey Mano. So Utah are down to 14 men for a bit. So it leaves it 21-11 at half time to Utah. And then we hear the crowd this second half shouting defense, American chant, which, you know, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Americanized rugby, I think it's good. You can't just make MLR a European copy in America. You've got to, accommodate for your crowd. And I like it because they did it. They did defend, and they defended very well in the second half, Utah Warriors, and I was impressed. So yeah, and then a good try from Jordan Traynor later on, the Utah fullback. He bumps off a few slip tackles, though, to be fair, and he goes over. So a good try from Jordan, and then intercept try from Joey Mano. We all love an intercept try, so he gets his second try of the game. Then there's a nice NOLA Gold line-out set-piece moves, which makes them a lot of ground, and they score a try there. But yes, later on, Joey Mano scores his hat-trick try, which is always good to see. A yellow card and a hat-trick. That's got to be still man of the match. And he does well to get his hat-trick. And then in the final minutes, Utah get a penalty. And then it's just a stunning bit of play. Joe Hodgson does this cross-field kick to Nick Benn, who I think they said it was his first appearance this season, or he didn't play last week. And it's his second game, so I guess, his first appearance this season. And what a kick. What a kick from Joe Hodgson. It is pinpoint. Literally, there's a penalty, and he immediately just taps and goes, wellies it off to the other side of the pitch. Pinpoint. Nick Benn catches, dots down. What a brilliant try for Utah. And that seals off the game. That ends the game. I can't remember the score. 55-21 to Utah Warriors. In the end, pretty comfortable. I don't think NOLA Gold got any yellow cards or anything either to make it, that wide a gap. So disappointing from NOLA Gold, I think, after having a pretty good... they won the first game? I can't remember now. It's all blending into one. But I think they have more quality in that squad than that result shows, and they'll be disappointed they can't make it tighter there. And now we go over to Houston for their second home game of the season. And obviously they're taking on Seattle Seawolves. As you can see, Seattle going for the win, not quite getting there, losing 24-21, which I'll be disappointed with just because of how close the game was, but also because they lost their first game of the season and then had the bye week. So they're now none from two, Seattle Seawolves, so they'll be disappointed with. The game was actually quite good. Started off with a try, a maul from Akina, the hooker for Houston, and then soon after, another try for Houston over in the corner from Rufus McLean, the winger. So a great start for Houston, going 14-0 up. So they'll be delighted with that. But soon after that, Seattle managed to get one back around the 20-minute mark, and then they make it 14-7, and it remains 14-7 till half-time. But soon into the second half, Seattle managed to score another try, this time a maul as well, and that makes it 14-all. Houston get a penalty to put them back in front, 17-14. But then Seattle go over around the 55th minute to go ahead in the game for the first time, and they hang on to that lead for 17 or so minutes. And on 8 minutes to go, a Seattle player gets sent off for a sort of a chop tackle in true Ben Earl style. As a Saracens fan, I can say that. A Ben Earl style, going sort of really low tackle, but they've given it so a no arms tackle, and also high degree of danger as it targets the limb, specifically the knee. So Seattle go down to 14, and Houston are able to capitalise and score a try, making it 24-17, which is the final score. But the game isn't over, because Seattle actually lose another player for a tucked arm sort of clean out. That's sort of shoulders ahead. So that's also another red card in the last 10 minutes for Seattle. So not only were they winning, they lose the game, and they lose two players for their next game, and probably next 3 games or something. So huge blow for Seattle there. That could be two very costly red cards, and not just in this game. And for the final game, we go over to Illinois. The Chicago Hounds take on the New England Freejacks. And this is an absolutely crazy game. I've written lots of stuff on my phone next to the camera to talk about what happens in the game. So do bear with me. But look at this crazy finish. 36-7 the score ends up being. Who the hell would have predicted that before the game? New England Freejacks getting kind of thumped against Chicago. I predicted a close-ish game, but a New England Freejacks win. How wrong I was. The back-to-back winners of the MLR in the last 2 seasons getting absolutely destroyed there. So it starts off with a monster penalty kick from Chicago within the first few minutes, and then within another couple of minutes of that, Chicago gets a penalty try from, as I said, another scrum. Scrums having a huge effect on the MLR this round. So that makes it 10 points to 0. And of course, New England lose a prop for 10 minutes. And then there's some excellent defence from Chicago around the 20-minute mark where they really hold out the New England Freejacks for, I don't know, a good couple of minutes, a lot of phases. And eventually the New England Freejacks got penalised for a crossing at the line out lifters jumping in front of the ball carrier, setting up the maul. And soon after that, we get a try from the fullback, Michael Hand. It is his debut for Chicago Hounds, and it's from the back of a set piece, a line-out set-piece move. I do think line-outs are a brilliant set-piece to really launch attack in the game of rugby. And here, Chicago did it perfectly. Off the back of a line-out, they attack and make a slight line break, get through about 20 metres, deep into the New England Freejacks 22. And then just a few phases, a few nice passes, and Michael Hand goes over. So a good try for him on his debut. And then a try-saving tackle. This is in the 41st minute, like when the clock's in the red, in the end of the first half. Noah Brown makes this absolutely outrageous try-saving tackle in the corner. Literally the winger for, it might be winger or fullback, whoever, for New England is going over. He's going to score. And sort of the tackle, but the arm smashes the ball out of the Freejacks player's hand. Sorry, the ball's dislodged. What a try-saving tackle from Noah Brown. 24 years old he is. I saw, played for US Sevens and one cap for the USA Eagles. I mean, he's looking very, very good. So it remains 15-0 at half-time. And then about 10 minutes into the second half, another amazing try-saving tackle from Noah Brown. Again, you could argue this is more the Freejacks player messing up because he puts his hand into touch and he probably could have avoided that. It's literally like handball straight away. So it was really tight. And the TMO did well to spot it. But, I mean, still, you've got to give some credit to Noah Brown for 2 try-saving tackles for his team. You know, that keeps it 15-0. It could have easily been about 15-10, at least, if he hadn't have done those 2 actions. So, yeah, brilliant from Noah Brown. And then there's a yellow card for the Freejacks winger, Paula Balakana. I hope I've said that right. Around the 64th minute for a swinging arm to the head as a player had just been tackled. But it wasn't. I thought it should have been a red card because they say he's dipping. The ball carrier's dipping. In my opinion, he's already on the floor. That is basically about to present the ball in the ruck, and you just see this. Let's say Balakana jump in with a swinging arm. I would have given that a red card personally. I thought the Freejacks were lucky to get him back for the last 5 minutes or so of the game. So Chicago are attacking from that yellow card and, go through a few phases, and they're going out wide. And then a sort of an intercept attempt. I mean, it was a very poor one. Had very little chance of catching it from the Freejacks winger. So he gets sent off for a cynical play, yellow card. And not only that, but they do judge the TMO and ref looking at it, and they do judge that there was no backfield cover. So it actually is a penalty try. Chicago Hounds get another 7-pointer, and at this point they are well and truly going to win the game. The Freejacks are down to 13 players. The Freejacks get their own try in the end, which they probably deserve. They've been knocking on the door a few times. And then Noah Brown gets his own try. After 2 try-saving tackles, he gets his own try in the last couple of minutes. And the game ends up 36-7. A fantastic performance from Chicago Hounds. And well, they're looking excellent, aren't they? Beating Houston away first round. I thought they were robbed against San Diego last week for that Charlie Abell red card. In my opinion, never a red card. This fantastic win over last year's champions, the New England Freejacks. So Chicago are 2 wins from 3, and they're looking good. So they got to the Eastern Conference final last season, and they look good to do it again. You're going up against the likes of Miami, NOLA, Charlotte, DC. I'd say they're probably, and obviously New England Freejacks, they're right up there. They're working right up there. Looks like Miami, Chicago, and New England will be the 3 main contenders. I'd be surprised if Chicago aren't in the Eastern Conference final come the end of the season. And as we were talking about the Eastern Conference, let's have a look at how it looks now after round 3. As we see there, Miami at the top on 11 points. And they could have been on like 15 points if they hadn't messed up that kick to finish the game in round 1 against DC. Chicago, as I was mentioning there, beating the England Freejacks, now into 2nd place. A good result for them. NOLA Gold dropped down into 3rd. DC stay in 4th there. New England Freejacks drop a place into 5th. They'll be very disappointed with that loss to Chicago. And then Anthem is in Charlotte remain at the bottom and so close to getting that first win against Miami. So close, but sadly they could not do it. It would have been nice to see them get that win because the Miami would have been on like 7 or 8 points with the losing bonus point, a full try bonus point, and Anthem would have been on like a nice sort of 5 points maybe, so the league would have been really tight, so it's just trying to stretch it out a bit, which is a shame for Anthem. But yeah, that's the Eastern Conference. And getting into the Western Conference, look at that domination from San Diego. 3 wins on 3, 4 try bonus points, and yeah, they're storming the league right now. They're storming the Western Conference. 15 points there. Second is Utah Warriors, who are 2 from 2. Obviously they had the bye week in the first round. Houston also on 10 points, but they have played 3 games. Obviously, they lost to Chicago in the first round. Seattle lost both their first 2 games, which is a huge, huge disappointment for them. They have a lot of exciting talent in their squad, and they are a very, very, very established team in the MLR. So they'll be hugely disappointed with their performance so far this season. And then, of course, LA at the bottom, who have had a couple of close games, or at least the last round's game was quite close. So they'll be hoping to get a win in the next few weeks, I'm sure, and try and get above Seattle, which would be a great achievement for them if they could finish that. Finish above Seattle come the end of the season. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that kind of wraps up the whole video, guys. Please do like and subscribe. I'm not finished yet, but I'm just saying, please do like and subscribe first, because I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers before the just as soon as possible, but so I can go live on YouTube, preferably before the Six Nations round 4 this weekend. But yeah, that rounds off the MLR. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you prefer the way I've kind of done it this week? I've kind of gone into more detail into each game, or would you rather just more of a summary of each game as I have been doing the first 2 rounds? But yeah, do let me know your thoughts. Let me know where you're watching this from, especially if you're from the USA. Tell me what MLR team you are a fan of. And how you thought they've done this week and where they'll finish in the table. But thank you guys if you have managed to get this far. I've been rambling on and making lots of mispronunciations and just stumbling over my words, as I always do. Thank you for watching though, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.